Hello. My name is Lindsay Brown. Welcome back to my YouTube channel where we talk about politics meets the mind, the science behind the mind, and how politicians need to learn how the mind operates. So, today I want to talk about a trigonometry podcast that I listened to with Zaya Yusuf. He is a member of Reform UK. Now, this is not about reform, this is just about a few things that he said that I want to relate back to the mindset and how it actually affects us, the people of the country that these decisions are being made for, or these things that are happening to us, right? So, first of all, he talked about how you need an ID pass to get into some buildings. And actually, I worked for a company that you needed ID passes to get into the building. Okay, so you wore a lanyard around your neck, and you had a little pass there, and it let you into certain buildings. Now, the company I worked for, you couldn't just get into any building. So, say you had a division, this division, Division 2, and head office. Well, if you worked in Division 2, you didn't have a pass to get you into head office or Division 1. Some people maybe done, but a lot of the main staff didn't, right? So even though that you were an employee for that company, you still couldn't dander around all their offices, let alone be a member of the public and get into these offices. You couldn't, right? And so where we relate that back to what's happening now is these men are coming in and they have not vetted, they've no details, we don't know who they are, and they're allowed to come into our country. Now, where I relate that to is that I get that offices do that. They need to make sure that they have security, that the stuff that they're dealing with is secure. They need to make sure that nobody steals the computers or wrecks the place or anything like that. So I get it, right? I get it. But doesn't that apply to our country? Because those offices are just going to have maybe some criminal damage or some information leaked. We're talking about people's lives when we're letting these men in, right? So you get a key card so something's not stolen out of an office, but yet you don't have to have a passport or any sort of document whenever you could be endangering people's lives. Again, I'm not saying every single one of these people that are unvetted or undocumented are going to endanger lives, but it's proven results that they do. Just the way offices lock themselves up because they have proven results that from past times before the things have been stolen or information has got out. So, like, again, this whole thing we come back to, make that make sense. Make that make sense. To me, we should be putting more effort into making sure that we're not risking our humans rather than not risking our a couple of computers or whatever it may be. Yes, it all needs protected, of course, but shouldn't humans be protected more? Right? So, look, that was a very good point I thought that he made. Then he went on to talk about that we have high income earners, entrepreneurs leaving. Um, and so he talked about, and I agree with this, that a lot of that is to do with us, and we need to take accountability. And I always say we need to take accountability to better ourselves and better our lives. But we don't celebrate entrepreneurs. We make fun of them, right? And not, and what I mean by that is, if somebody says that they have an idea, oh, I have this idea and I want to do that. Instead of us going, oh, do that, start a business and do that, we tell them all the things that may go wrong. Instead of going, do you know what? You're capable, and even if things do go wrong, you're strong enough to get through them. Go you there, follow your dreams. We don't. We want to put them down. So we need to get better at encouraging entrepreneurs. Now, the tax man needs to get better at this as well, okay? And there needs to be better tax savings or grants or loans put into allowing our people to become entrepreneurs, okay? Because entrepreneurs create more jobs. It's good for the mind, it's good for the self-image, it's good for making you feel good about yourself and achieving something and learning to deal with difficult situations when maybe some things don't go your way. So there's so many benefits from it. So I think we need to really encourage it. And when I was sort of thinking about that, it took me on to sort of Christianity. And like, I'm not here saying I'm a Christian. I'm having to look into things. I'm studying all the time and seeing where my path is going to lead. But I remember, and I was speaking to someone about this the other day, that, if you'd said you're a Christian, you'd get made fun of, right? You'd get laughed at. Um, and so I guess what I think we need to find that balance of, yes, definitely still having banter, definitely still having the crack. But if people want to go down a spiritual journey or an entrepreneurial journey, or they want to change and become better in some way, or find their identity more, then that should be encouraged, and we shouldn't be laughing at people because they want to go on a spiritual route. because I definitely believe we're in a spiritual war here. So I would be encouraging that. So I just wanted to point those things out, that our government and the people that say are supposed to be looking after us don't actually encourage us to do things that are going to make us better, that are going to push us as human beings and help us grow. And so I just think, as a mindset perspective, if we bring the mindset into the politics, that these politicians should be doing more to enhance people's mindset, to help them with spiritual journeys, to help them become entrepreneurs, and so on and so on. Because when you achieve things that lifts you, you feel good about it, and it would just be nice to the people that say they care about us and want the best for our country, that they should be doing more on this, because it helps all round. It helps all round. He talked about, people getting off benefits and back to work, and we should, and it's for that self of achievement. But again, the government don't want that, because they want to control you, and they can control you more when you're on benefits. So it's another sort of mindset, keeping you grounded, keeping you in fear, that the government use against us. Instead of empowering our people, they want to control you more and more and more. He talked a little bit about people and veterans getting turfed out by landlords, because these landlords are being offered by the government 5 to 7 year contracts. Now, this is in England at the minute. I think it's happening here too in Northern Ireland, as well. 5 to 7 year contracts, and they're getting 20 to 30% more income. So they're getting it locked down for up to 7 years, plus they're getting it up to 70% more. So they're chucking our people out, so that the government can pay them to put the people that weren't from this country in, right? And what does that do again? What is that our government are doing to us again? They're telling us that we're not important. And when you tell somebody, and I know this from being an addict, because I told myself over and over again, I'm not important, I can't get off drugs, there's nothing I can do in life, I can't achieve anything, sure, I'm worthless, I might as well get wiped out. So what we're telling our people, what our government, the people that say they're looking after us, are telling us, you're not important enough. We have other people that are more important than you, and you need to get kicked out of that house, right? And the people that's coming into it aren't paying for the house, the government's paying for it. So they're kicking you out, that's paying your taxes. So what's that doing to people? Like I say, that's making people think that they're not worth anything, that their country doesn't care about them. And if you're somewhere that nobody cares about you, then that's going to have an impact. That's going to have an impact on you. And again, it goes back to the mindset, and what I believe the government's doing to us is they want us to feel like this. They want us to feel that they don't care, because they know then that can lower us a bit, and we don't think we can achieve anything, and we just have to put up with it. Now, what's really good about it is that our people are not doing that anymore. They're deciding to stand and go, well, do you know what? We do. You may not care about our country, but we do. Imagine if it was your own mother, and your own mother was putting you out of the house to let a stranger live there. That would strain your relationship with your mother, right? That would strain that relationship. So how can the government expect us all to continue to want to listen and to bow down to them whenever they are really straining that relationship with their own people? Every single day they put a strain on that relationship. How can we trust people when they put a strain on a relationship? You wouldn't trust somebody if they were doing that for you in your personal life. So why is the government not learning from this? This is why I'm not getting. Why are they not learning from this? Why are they not seeing what they're doing? And I know people are going to say, well, they do, Lindsay, and they're doing it on purpose. But these are the things I want them to get called out on. These are the things I want them to be asked. You're straining relationships. By kicking somebody out of the house and putting somebody else in, you're straining that relationship. Why are you doing that to the people that you say that you are for? To the country that you say you are for and that you're managing, but yet you're treating people like that? It's not good for anybody. Nobody is it good for. Not the people you're putting out of these houses, not the people you're bringing into these houses. It is bringing a bad atmosphere and a bad consciousness to everybody around. And the politicians and our government need to learn this mindset material. They need to understand this, which, I know they probably do. I get it. So also why the government seemingly are spending so much money is because they're having government contractors run things for them. So instead of the government recruiting for the army, they're paying more money to a contractor to come in and do that. Now, they're doing that in a lot of cases. And it's obviously because they're not good at managing these things, and so they're having to bring outside contractors in, which is costing more money. This happens in the NHS and lots of other different government projects. So again, what are they learning from that? Are they learning that they're not good at managing? Are they learning that they need to bring in maybe different managers to manage these things so that it doesn't cost them more money in the long run? Like, I just know how much we need to continue to teach the government. There's so much they need to learn. I don't like making these videos too long because I want to make them quick and just to the point of how whatever it is I'm talking about, the politics relates to the mindset. But the population was upped by over 14 years of Tory. The population was up by 6.5 million, but there was only 411 new prison places. Now, no matter who you are, no matter what country, even if you're somebody that's all from Northern Ireland or all from the UK or wherever, Australia, America, within that 6.5 million people, there's going to be bad people. Okay, there's going to be. No matter what country you're from. This is not me saying that certain countries are worse than others. No matter what country you come from, there's going to be bad people within that 6.5 million. And if you look at statistics, you will see that there's going to be more than 411. So they know they're bringing this amount of people in. They know statistically that there's going to be a certain amount that's going to need locked up or some sort of court service or whatever. And yet they're only opening these amount of spaces. So again, it's simple maths with the government, but they're not doing it. They're not listening. And what again does that have effect on the people's mindset is that they have more concerns, more fears, because they know all these people aren't being locked up. So again, it's that relationship with the government and making their people the best that they can, that they're not allowing that to happen. They're not allowing that to happen. They're allowing us to live in fear. So again, they're not doing what's right for us to become the best versions of ourselves in a country and with a government that say they want the best for us all. It's just nonsense. It's absolute nonsense, right? So anyway, guys, I'll finish it there. Like I say, I want to have it short, but all the things that I see our government doing is all affecting our mindset, and I believe they need to be empowering us all more to become the best that we can, rather than continuing to keep everybody down so that they can control them.